Hello, friends. Uh, it is me, I guess. For me or for other various reasons, I guess I just decided that I really wanted to start doing a few match analysis things, and keep in mind at D5, obviously I'm not like the perfect um, I'm not like the perfect like holy moly, what the fuck is this? I'm not like a perfect AD. I'm still learning like a ton of stuff. Does this work is the thing. And as a result, not everything I say is going to be 100% accurate, and I don't particularly think that I'm like a perfect AD in really any way. Uh, and as a result, take everything I say with a grain of salt, I guess. Oh, and I've got drawing stuff. Hello. To help with the whole process. Anyways, getting started. Um, ah, so getting started. Lucian versus Zaya. Um, isn't so this matchup is interesting. Here it's pretty easy to see what we're gonna do here. We're stacking because they've got a Thresh. Their level 1 is actually not horrible. If they do plan on invading, they have Ezreal for Q damage. They've got Vi, who's not awful. Lucian and Kayle aren't there yet, so they really shouldn't even be around here. They should probably just be sitting around their buff, but sitting here means that we get to come in pretty simple. We stack, so we just walk in, we see them, everything's fine. We don't get anything except for Vi's flash right here, and she goes over here. Or I guess is that she starts Q. She didn't know we were invading, so it's whatever. You can start Q or anything, obviously. Uh, Speeding up the playback, everything else goes pretty much exactly the same. And I guess what I want to talk about in this particular episode is lane matchups and how you can win your lane really easy. And that starts with, of course, like what are the starting items and how that goes. So the level 1 is really easy. Zaya and Lucian. Lucian wins the 1v1 level 1, but I know he started. So I see right here he started Doran's Blade, which means that my Doran Shield, if we poke and I get in a head trade, I'm going to come out on top. He has one pot, I have two, and I have the Doran Shield sustain. And Zyra is a more aggressive support than Thresh, so the probability that we win an aggressive trade is actually super, super likely. So, as you can see, not much is going on. Get some general poke off. Pretty easy, to be honest. The lane doesn't go swing too hard in one favor. Oh, you're seeing, obviously, this is the very simple AD carry thing that you need to be doing pretty much every game. Shoving out the lane, you need to kill the lane and hit level 2 before they hit level 2. If you don't hit level 2, they fuck you. This lane is disgusting at level 2. We both have really good lanes at that level, and we hit level 2 at the exact same time. You see me walk up there because I don't think he's going to hit it off that creep. One thing I definitely need to improve on. He misses the hook. Pretty simple. Lane phase goes about as planned. We land some poke, pulls back, miss a couple of things. And you see there, I took a bad trade, right? I took a bad trade, but that's fine because I have a Doran Shield regen and the pots, and they do not. Everywhere else gets, destroyed in some manner or another. This is a weird lane matchup. But another thing I want to specifically talk about in this game in particular is, we get first blood. Uh, how easy it is to throw a lead at higher elos. So I didn't know we were not getting ganked there. It looked definitely like that. Yeah, we get a really, really, really good all-in. I flash here, and he flashes to match, which is fine. And I just get some really, really solid damage off. Here's mistake number 1. Thresh stays because he has his Vi here, and he thinks that if he pops a pot, which I'm pretty sure he still has Ignite even, he stays, and that means that we get, lane pressure. And Vi is planning on coming down, which is fine. Uh, but here, okay, here's something for every jungler ever, right? When it's level 3, it's early in the game, right? And you're like at your Gromp, right? Basically, what this means for everyone, right, is you're coming from Gromp and you'll have to walk down because you can't walk over here because we just warded this brush, right? So you have to walk down, right? Like into the lane from the Thresh who had Lantern. Thresh did not land any CC on us at all, which means that so Zyra and Zaya are two very skill shot oriented champions who really, really need to land stuff in order to do damage or get CC or whatever, right? So if you came from the side, if you took the blast cone and queued at us, we would not have been able to react from being here. As a result of that, both Zyra and I know that we do not have to aim our skills. we just have to do stuff in the general up direction, which she does. She lands a snare on both of them. We're free to go, practically. Lucian's going to come forward here, as you'll see. And this is super, super bad because now you don't have any surprise pressure. We can gank, or not we can gank, we can turn this because I know how strong we are in general. And we just kite back, and you see me make a mistake here too because I fuck up my E there. I get ignited here, and I don't know why I hold on to heal for this long. I should have healed way, 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 way before this because now that I'm ignited, my heal is only 72, which is really bad. Like, the fact that this is 72 is... it would have been like, what, 10, 120? Yeah, very, very bad. So, and then I make a very bad movement command here coming out of the brush because then Thresh just smacks me. Or no. Lucian flashes in, which is fine because then my Zyra cleans up the kill. And so you can definitely see what kind of mistake they made there because that gives up all the lane pressure in the world. Like, they do not have a chance now because unless they get ganks, this lane is super in Zyra's favor instead of Lucian Thresh. Here's kind of a stupid thing that happens here. I just sit here because I know if I walk up, I'm gonna die. What I should have done, because I think I definitely had enough for a control ward at this point. What I should have done is, instead of sitting here and wasting time, I should have done my jungler's Krugs. Because I can't go up there anyway, and I'm going to miss all this CS regardless, right? So I might as well have just gone to the Krugs and did them, because my jungler is at Wraiths, and he's not going to make a full rotation bottom, because there's a dragon up, and that means that he really should be looking out to, like, do a Drake or come counter gank us. In the case that Vi comes, because we actually don't know where Vi is. This is a really good ward, by the way. We have Scuttle Vision. There's no danger to doing Drake. I really should have just bought a control ward, put it in the Tri-Brush, and then just walked back into lane once my Zyra was there. Pretty big mistake on my part. I lose a lot of time for it, but it's fine. What else happens? Throw a couple Qs, try to land CS. My Zyra's there, could have gotten Krugs, yada yada, I already explained. We have some pretty fine trades. Everything's going pretty well. Alright, Vi's gank number 2. So, part 1. Thresh already missed hook. He has no pressure. He has to flay Zyra or me, and there's no choice. So, he chooses to flay Zyra, which is fine. My Zyra reacts really well by queuing here instead of on the Thresh because she's the squishier target and she's a higher priority. And then Zyra gets popped, but I land an insane route. Like, I do so much damage there. I misstep, should have kept chasing the Lucian because now I don't get 2 kills, I get 1. Pretty fine, to be honest, because now um, I pretty much just get to have, like, a free dive here because Vi doesn't want to help. Pretty weird thing happens here, I guess. Easy, easy dive. Just pull that back. I don't know why the fuck he still had aggro there. I really should have eaten that aggro. I don't know how I didn't, but it happened. So, hit level 6 before Lucian. Gives me a lot of lane pressure. Shove in the wave. He loses all that shit. By this point, I think I have components for Essence Reaver, and he only has Bilge Water, which is great. Like, everything's awesome. Um, Pretty easy stuff here. Alright, problem number 2 with my play. My map awareness is so bad sometimes. If you look, there's a Thresh being chased by a Kled, and I could have just ran up and helped with this, but I did not because I'm an idiot. And because I didn't do that, guess what happens? He flashes away, we miss the kill because I'm still fucking farming down here for some reason. I should not have done that. I don't even put pressure on the Lucian. I could have thrown a Q at Lucian, W'd autoed twice, and then I probably could have maybe got a kill, but I don't know. I mean, I definitely should have done that. I don't know why I decided that I was just better than that. We get a very free dragon here, very simple, literally no contestation at all. They don't have any vision at all. We get Infernal. Very easy. Um, how much I can really talk about in pretty typical solo queue stuff. Oh, they ping Thresh to not go back, which is interesting. Do we capitalize on the fact that Lucian is gone? I don't think we do. I think I make another pretty big mistake here. Yes, okay. Here's the thing. I don't understand why I didn't just walk up and hit the turret. Because if I did walk up, I could have hid behind the caster creeps for Thresh, right? And then Zyra could have backed me up because he's still 5. There's no threat to us other than like the fact that we get comboed, right? We have 1, 2, 3 ways of seeing someone come down the river, and we know that if they're coming from one direction, Vi's level 6, and we know that Xayah, if you're any good at mechanics, your ult just cancels out Vi, like in general. I don't know why I didn't keep hitting the turret, but I didn't, so. Otherwise, I think this lane goes pretty good. I think I actually do that same mistake twice. Do we see Vi's 3rd unsuccessful gank? Yes, we do. Okay, so this one, I fuck up. I misposition super hard, cause if we jump back a few seconds, right? Um, we see there is no reason for me to just allow the Thresh to walk up like this. The fact that I allowed Thresh to get on top of me like this was so bad. There is no reason for me to have done that. I do, however, make the clutch and jump the fuck over that stupid-ass Thresh hook. Because I know that the Zyra ult, even if Vi wanted to ult me right now, she can't because I'm untargetable. By the time I get back on the ground, look at that. The Zyra ult knocks up Vi, and that's just good synergy between the purple bot lane, right? Because now that Vi's knocked up, this Blade Caller hurts so much. And I actually do hit Lucian in the back with that. I hit him with 2 feathers, I think. She insta-dies. And then I get ignited. Guess what I fucking do again? I heal while ignited like an idiot because I don't understand what ignite does, apparently. He flashes to the side. I should have reacted better to that. I should have just pulled E. Pretty easy, though. My Zyra ends up cleaning up both kills here. Good fucking job, Zyra. You're a legend. Everything else seems to be going just fine. Until first turret goes down, I just like to stay in lane and not roam really that much. But I understand that I probably should do that more as an AD if I'm ahead. Um, I eat a pretty bad trade here, but it's whatever. I have a pot, and I have actually refilled now, don't I? I have my Essence Reaver now. I'm super strong. He has Blade. He wins the 1v1, but I win the team fight, and it's a 2v2 pretty much all the time. Vi comes down a lot, so it's practically a 3v3. We are 8-3 in this lane. They are 3-6, so we have a lot of pressure. We really should try to apply that a bit more, but I don't. I just farm because, you know. What else to talk about? We're ahead like 3,000 gold. Our team's a late game scaling comp anyway. Their team scales pretty well too, and you'll see that later on as we throw this game. Fucking Vi comes down again and another unsuccessful gank. Do we dive here? I think we try to dive. Yeah, they go back. That's a really smart move on their end. Kled, because my macro is bad, ends up getting another kill. And we show all three level 5, 6, and 7 masteries. So that's fucking dope. Okay, here's where I fuck up. Here's where my macro is bad, right? I should not be here. Because being here, like, in this general, like, area, means that, like, I don't go anywhere. That fucking sweeper noise is gonna piss me off. I'm gonna... Can you fucking go away? Jesus. So me being here, like, under second tier tower, doesn't allow me to do any macro, right? Because mid turret has a wave that Ari is just letting die to the turret because she's a better mid player than I am, and as a result, she just fucking, like, actually feeds the CS, which is good. Top turret's, like, really low. What I should have called is we should go mid, kill inner, because these people aren't going to do anything because they're too behind. They have to stay bottom to farm. There's going to be too many waves that are going to crash into the turret. They're going to lose CS. I should have called to go to mid because if I go to mid, like, we get the inner mid turret because there's already a wave there unless someone comes, and they don't have very good anti-siege yet. And then I should have called, after we get inner mid, we go to get the Rift Herald. Because then on the Rift Herald play, we can walk top and get another turret. And then we can go, and then we can pop Herald either here or here for another turret. That is a chain of events that would have pretty much allowed me to win this game, like, instantly. I'm way too ahead to be playing the lane phase anymore. I do actually try to make the inner call, but I walk back because I see an opportunity to try and jump on the bot lane, but it ends up being wasted. This is how you lose games, by the way. You lose games by not being proactive. Not being proactive in a situation like this is, like, the perfect situation for the enemy team to come back. If you'll notice, the enemy team has 280 carries, one of which, this one, he is building AD, by the way, as you can see via his build. He is behind, but that doesn't matter when you scale the game in their favor. Their team has Kayle, Lucian, Ezreal. That shit's nuts for scaling. We have Ari, we have Xayah, we scale pretty well. We have Rumble too. But Kayle vulnerability with 280 carries on the team allows them to play the game out longer, and they want to play the game out longer. We should have, and I should have called, going to Rift Herald, making sure that their team can't scale well because it's 15-6. We're ahead 7,000 gold. There's no reason for me to have not made the call. So that's another mistake in this game that I made that I shouldn't have made. Clean up a couple waves. We do keep scaling. We end up getting this turret, I think. We do, which is fine, but we should have been more proactive with our plays. We throw a little bit here. I think my Zyra dies. No, she doesn't. I end up healing. And dead. Nice. I mean, that's a fine play. We get a couple of kills. We get a turret. It's fine. It turned out more fine than it should have, given the situation of me not acting on anything. So, at this point, I think I have Runan's, Berserker's Greaves. I'm stacked. My mid-game power spike is coming along. This was weird as fuck. There's, like, a Thresh play that he has red or something. I don't know how he got red, and then we just do nothing. Again, okay, again. This should have been the easiest The easiest Rift Herald call in the world. We should not be pushing up mid versus a Kale and like a Ezreal just ulted the big ass wave we had. There was no reason for us to have done that. We do end up getting a Drake off of it, which is fine. Rift Herald is a more immediately impactful neutral game objective that we should be playing for, but we're not because I don't know. That was There's no reason for us to have gotten Mountain Drake over Rift Herald in this situation. Regarding this situation, I think we land a pick on Vi. We get her flash at least. Now she just keys over the wall. It's fine. There's pretty typical solo queue farming bullshit that happens. I misplayed this so bad because I am an idiot and I see this, right? I see that I see nothing right now, right? I walk up, I see Lucian, I like tunnel vision for him. I don't understand. Kale has TP, Ezreal's mid who can just E down or just walk down in general, and I don't see their jungler. I know that their support is dead though. So I try and engage in the 1v1, which is fine. This is fine. Like this poke, once I was past like here, like once he blade actived me, I should have just left because now I'm way too far. And then Vi surprise is in her jungle, and then I do trade 1 for 1 here, which is okay. If we were talking like how I should have played that, I definitely should have like at least tried to root both, but it was in the moment, so I don't know. Do we get her? We do pick her off, but Rumble dies, so it's a 2-2 right now. I think the longest chase I've ever seen happens here. And then flash, and then he's away, and then he dies here, which is stupid, but, I sit here for a pretty long fucking amount of time, actually. I don't know why. I think it was for Zeal. Yeah, it was for Zeal. Okay, so what happens next? We walk up, yada yada. We get into a fucking tussle. She uses ult. Pretty much nothing happens that I don't think we could have improved on, because now the Baron's up, it's a more risky call to just run over and grab it, so I guess we just ARAM for a minute. There is a wave top, we do rotate top, which is fine. I do pick up the red here, which is pretty cool. This fight is... So, part 1 of this fight, the mistake Vi made, she ulted Rumble. Why? I didn't use ult. I could have used my ult, but, I mean, maybe she realized that in general. I mean, if you didn't want to ult me, you should have ulted Zyra, because then you're right next to me, obviously. Ulting Rumble here, Rumble was already dead. Rumble was next to your Kale, and your Thresh. If you were not going to get him, then they would have. Maybe she used it to live. I don't know. We kill her. Thresh stands in the Rumble ulti. I eat a hook. It doesn't really matter that much because I don't eat that much damage. I ult, which is fine. Should have insta-blade collared. And we come out with a positive trade. That was pretty good on a lot of fronts. I don't think I could have improved that fight much more given the situation. Maybe I could have positioned myself more to the back. We get the inner turret, which is fine. We're now up 11,000, 12,000 gold, which we should have closed out the game by now. But it's D5, people make mistakes, and you'll see a ton of mistakes that I make later. This dive is dumb, so I just book it out, and I'm like, whatever, you can handle that yourself if you really want to dive. Pretty good pick. Definitely nothing that... do I play this fight wrong? I don't think I die here. Should have been hitting Kale the whole time. It's whatever. Taking the inside track is pretty good here, obviously. I do have red. My Kled just decides that he wants to get rage, I guess. I don't... Oh, I do live because Zaya's ult is nuts. Did I have E? I did. Okay, good. I'm glad that we got out with that. We actually killed both of them there. Do we get inhib turret off that? Oh, okay. This is something I always do. 100% of the time, and it's so bad. I really need to stop doing this. When we're pushing, why the fuck am I hitting the creeps? I need to get this turret dead. I don't understand why I prioritize the creeps here, because I actually die because of that. And I think I get Kled killed. Yeah, I feed Vi 2 kills because my dumbass wanted 6 more farm instead of a turret and my life. So don't do that when you're in your games. Just hit the turret. It's very, very bad to not do that. Nothing else really happens here. Lots of farming goes down. You know, they get a Drake, whatever. My team lands a great pick on Thresh, as you'll see. And dead. Nice. That's a great pick because now their support's not there and our Baron's free. So, here's the other thing we saw. And here's what should have happened but did not happen. We know that Vi's bottom. We ping it a lot. And if you show bottom as a jungler, and if you're jungler, right, and your teammate gets picked, like Thresh just did, do not do this Gromp, because you don't know if there's a ward on you or not. And if you show bottom when someone top just got picked and it's a 3v5 and you have the smite, you need to stop doing the Gromp and you need to run up here. Because now, guess what happens? We start and finish Baron and you're not there. Wonderful. We kill your Lucian too because they wanted to contest, but whatever. Okay, so where do we go from here, right? I mean, what else is there to do in this game? Okay. I make a super big mistake because I'm an idiot. I try and 1v1 the Vi, which is fine, and I successfully do so. I kill the Vi, I burn my flash, and I have to burn heal here for 1 kill on Vi, and I lose my Baron. My team, because I draw 2 people up there, and Rumble is going to go up there and die eventually too, unfortunately. As you see, he does end up almost killing the Kale too, which is insane. My team does end up getting the inhib, and which is good, it's what they should have done, but I should not have even considered the opportunity to try and 1v1 the Vi there. Pretty easy stuff. Good macro play by my team there. Let's see. This was a pretty slick 1v1. Kale acts like I've never fucking smacked a Kale before. You burst her before she expects to use ult because she doesn't have it. And bam, we get a free double. And here's where we should have just won the game. We should have just walked mid. This was definitely, if there was anything in my game that was not my fault, it was this play. Because we walk up, check it. I say it's not my fault, but it is. We're 3. They're also 3. It doesn't matter that Kale and Thresh are dead because my team is fucking back here. There was no reason for us to have tried to keep pushing up like this. Because we die, I think. I think we actually trade, but whatever. I die instantly. We actually go 0 for 3. We go 0 for... Oh, wait, and my Ahri lands a pick. That's fine. 2 for 3 is whatever. We lose our Baron, which is really bad. I played that like a monkey. So now we get to talk about the unfortunate circumstance that I put my team in by not making proactive calls. We're throwing the game. And as you can see via the items, Kale's almost got her power spike. Once she gets Runans, 3-item Kale is so scary. Full damage Vi insta-kills me. He's got Muramana. Black Cleaver Blade is pretty much exactly what you want, and then Thresh, whatever. Um, Everyone else is my team's almost full items, right? I'm missing 2, my support's missing 3, my mid laner's missing 3. I mean, we're pretty close to being almost fully there in terms of power spikes. There was no real reason that we shouldn't have just tried to close out the game. We do walk top, which is good. We get a lot of pressure up here. Here's where we also start to play really bad because we pushed 3 waves in and we shouldn't have. We should have just okay. This one thing you guys have to understand when you look at team comps, and one thing I need to learn more about. This team comp is practically undiveable. Mobility on E, peel, mobility on E, keep your carry locked down before you dive, and then Kale ult. Kale ult is like unbelievably good at stopping dives. So when our team tries to inevitably dive because we're getting frustrated by our lack of success killing this turret, I get insta-killed pretty quick here. I actually don't die in this fight, but look, Kled can't keep up and he dies, feeding Kale a triple, and that shouldn't have happened because we can't dive that team. We trade 2 for 1, or 3 for 1, and then they just clean up their Nexus. And Kale has Runans now. Everything's turning to shit. Our biggest neutral objective that we can possibly get right now is Infernal Dragon, which at this stage in the game really doesn't matter that much. What should we have done? What we should have done was go 1-3-1, because their team sucks at dealing with splitting. Because when you're so ahead, Rumble is an insane team fighter, but he can split his own as long as we know where Kale is. Kale is the only person on the enemy team besides Vi, and if Vi is gone, then we have neutral objective pressure to just, like, Rumble can 1v1 anyone on that team, and if he draws 2 people, then we just engage a fight, and it doesn't matter, right? And, not to mention, we see Kale use TP bottom. We see that. We see Kale use it. So, what Rumble should have done, and what I should have told him to do, is walk top, because if he goes top, he draws the pressure off of Kale. Xayah and Zyra can definitely deal with Kale, we just have to wait out ult, or burst her down before she has the opportunity to use it, and then we can do whatever we want. Like, it's not that big a deal otherwise. So, yeah. We walk through... they get Infernal Dragon, it's whatever, it doesn't matter that much. We're preparing for Baron because it's spawning pretty soon. It spawns in like a minute. We land an insanely important pick on the Vi. The Vi dies here, which is so good because now, Baron spawns. You can't die as the jungler when the Baron spawns, obviously. That's so bad of you to get picked, and... bada bing, bada boom. Me and Kled practically duo the Baron while the rest of my team zones out anyone who's going to try and walk through. We have another Baron. We have another chance to shove out. And instead of doing the smart play, and I would have gotten Inhib first and then gone to Baron, but I understand my team wanted to do Baron while their jungler was down, which is fine. And solo queue, that's great, because Inhib is arguably less important than Baron, and solo queue, I would say it's less important, or more important in competitive play. Maybe Baron is better when people, I don't know. We do get a pretty okay fight here. I don't die. No one's focusing me, which is super weird. And then I am an idiot and I throw. So, what was the play? 2 are dead. Kale still has ult. Vi is dead, obviously. Ezreal doesn't have ult. The play should have just been, we lifesteal back, which we do, as you see. And then we walk back and go catch the wave bottom. Because that is what a smart person would do. But I am not a smart person, and I fucking flash for the Lucian. I get his flash. And then, even if that play wasn't bad enough, because I trade my immobile ass for the mobile carry flash, I try and stick around. I don't see the Kale because my map awareness is horrible. And then I get destroyed. I kill the Ezreal. Who fucking cares if I killed the Ezreal? Because now I traded the most valuable member on my team's life. I have 16 kills. Without me, the game is what, 30, 29, 25? That's like nothing. Like, who cares? Now, I without Baron to go bot side, I mean, we still do have Baron, and we end up getting this turret, I think. Well, my Kled ints, but who cares? We do end up getting the turret, but we could have gotten inhib if I was still alive. I just played it really bad. So understand that your life matters a lot as an AD carry, especially in the late game, obviously. The game is getting very close. Everyone's almost full build. It doesn't matter the gold difference now. We should have closed it out. I've already said this a million times already. And fortunately for me, we don't end up throwing because the enemy team ends up... we land a pick on the Kale. On the Kale is so important. They're not dive proof anymore. As you see, my Rumble just walks in, dies, doesn't matter. We just murder them because they don't have their invulnerability anymore. Kale actually forgot to use her ult in the fight. And then we just walk mid, take a very easy turret, and then the game. Bam. Super easy ending. Could have happened 10 to 15 minutes before that point even came. So what can we learn from a game like this, right? We can learn that, so for example, right, when you try and win a game, you have to be proactive, you have to be both proactive and reactive to what the opponent does. If the opponent was to go for Dragon, while we were at Rift Herald, whatever, we walk top then because the rest of their team is bottom, and we pop the Rift Herald top, and KL has to either burn TP and die, or they have to let 2 turrets fall, which is fine. Both of those situations are great. And then I had to stop being the hero playmaker, and I just had to do the correct macro play. I just had to, I had to do the thing that I didn't want to do to win the game, and that's often what happens. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoy this, I guess, let me know. Yeah.